JC, yeah.
Who am I? I'm Spider-Man.
TiVoMike!
Hello and welcome to the TiVoMike Show. We are coming to you from Providence, Rhode Island. Now, it doesn't matter, because wherever you are, we are. It's really freaky. It's like freaky deaky. You know what I'm saying? Because where we are, you are, and where you are, we are.
That's right.
People talk all the time about time travel. We just did it. We traveled into the future, and you're traveling in the past. You're laughing at a joke told before. I'm TiVoMike, your host, and I'm here with my best friend, the show's entertainment guru, the one who's getting all the Chicago and SVU actors to act again, and to respond again, and to tweet again, Mike Warner.
Yes, Saints. Oh my goodness, one Chicago.
It's gonna be on like Donkey Kong. That's old, but that's good because we went back in the past.
That's right.
It's now time for our righteous recap of Chicago Med. Powerful season 7 episode 5. Change is a tough pill to swallow. It is. Change is hard unless you're Dave Ramsey and you just clap. Change. You can just change. Now, I just finished watching You season 3, and I know change is hard for people that don't follow the Dave Ramsey plan. But if you follow Dave Ramsey plan, it's easy. So that's going to help them out in Chicago Med. Scott and Charles treat patients suffering from glass child syndrome. Look it up. And misdiagnosed ADHD. What? Crockett has to navigate hospital politics when he cares for a surgeon's daughter. Halstead and Hammer. Sounds like a food line or like house cleaning goods. Procter & Gamble and, S.E. Johnson, a family company. Sounds like Halstead and Hammer. Must lay egos aside to help save an elderly patient. Let's recap, let's break it down, and let's transform lives in the process. Right. But be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes, please.
Because that helps the YouTube algorithm. It helps me when I'm looking at the stats every week, not cry myself to sleep.
That's right, guys.
So
help us.
Click a button and save me some tears. We're saving everything else, saving whales and dolphins and ticks. Why don't we save my tears? Because it causes global warming.
That it does.
Look how warm it is now. Go ahead, Mike. What we going to discuss first? What are we going to recap and relive?
Let's go with the last point there. Halstead and Hammer. So,
laying their egos aside.
Yes, I will say this. Hammer, I know, you knew Halstead in college. Maybe he was a smoozer then, too, and he knew all the right things to say. But your boy is about as shallow as a 2-foot pool.
Oh.
So, to think that he is still holding on to some vendetta from college.
Thank you.
He does not remember having no vendetta against you.
He don't remember you. He barely remembered you from college. He forgot he went to college.
Yeah, thank you. I was like, if she does not stop getting all mad about what... Girl.
Thank you.
Girl.
She needs to go hang out with that math girl. That's who he's dealing with all day long.
Right.
So forgive him.
Right.
If he's just, not want to hear people talk. Right. He's afraid what they're going to say. They're going to invite him to some algebra concert.
We miss you, Dr. Curry.
They're going to invite him to some mathalon. It's going to be ridiculous. Sorry. It's just, it stood out. It's one of the best.
It is definitely.
Whoever wrote that scene, just come back. But that was an interesting thing because here he's straddling the line.
Right.
Because of still trying to investigate whatever doctor that is who's selling the Vascom.
Cooper, yeah.
Cooper. Matt Cooper.
Yep.
Oh, look at me with knowing names. And trying to help Sharon Goodwin, who they're going to have something happen with her because they keep revealing something piece by piece. So all of a sudden, she's trying to get Will to be like, come on, figure out that he's bad. He's a bad dude, whatever. He's a good guy. So he's trying to show to them and to the sales agent,
Right.
that
Right.
he's Mr. Vascom, right? He's Will Vascom Halstead.
Yeah.
But he cares about his patients, but he cares
Right.
about Sharon, and he wants his job back to stay there. Because she made it very clear, I'll take you back, but you got to do this. So it's interesting watching him go, okay, well, this patient needs this. I guess Vascom won't really hurt her. Let me push that. And then he was like, and then when something goes wrong, he's so focused on it being the Vascom.
Yep. Messed
They
it
come
up.
to blows with that. And I thought, and I have to give him some credit. He didn't do what I thought he was going to do. I thought he was going to all of a sudden just tell her everything. Right? Oh no, it's because I'm doing this secret thing with the super duper thing. I think I'm part of SVU, and I don't know who I am anymore. I'm getting the Halsteads confused on who's detective, and so I just don't want.
That's still one of my
Vascom to hurt
favorite
her.
lines from last episode.
Was
I was a cop,
I was,
and you acting like.
yeah, like what's wrong? So what's happening here? He says he cut him into his place. That's why I thought he was just going to break down and just tell her everything, but he didn't.
Yep.
So we find out it wasn't the Vascom. So as he's breathing a sigh of relief after they're fighting, she's like, no, it's got to be something else. We got to figure out what this is.
Right.
He's like, no, it's this with that and the third because I know stuff. And even with the little things, they were like, oh, remember Peter Massengill was
Right,
like,
yeah,
he was
the
so
whole-
mean to me. He goes, no, it was Peter Leschewitz. That was it. She goes, really? Like, even that, you won't let me have.
Right.
So
right.
she was already kind of
That's
going
what I'm
after
saying.
him.
Exactly. What was I saying? Like, but it was
She needs
her.
to let her issue.
It was her. Right?
It's called projecting.
Halstead.
He's moved on. He was with Natalie trying to get her to remember. He just likes people with their memories. That's all. He's a memory doctor.
Like he wants to know yours, but he doesn't know his own.
He doesn't know his own. He don't know where he's going. Oh, it is bad.
Right. Right.
And then when he breathes a sigh of relief that it wasn't the Vascom after all,
Right.
he's telling Dr. Cooper about it. And he goes, no, I totally understand why you didn't, why you took her off of that. That makes sense. You got to make sure we don't want any bad publicity with the Vascom.
Right. We want that to be successful. Right.
Then, of course, 2 seconds after that, he was like, don't worry, I put it back on her. So it's all set. I was like, dun, dun, dun. He put that thing back on quick. He was not playing games.
Right. Oh,
Dr.
no.
Cooper wants that Vascom money.
Right. Right.
I think we're being gaslit.
Oh, I definitely think the gaslit thing.
Yeah, I think Dr. Cooper, is undercover for someone above Super Sharon, the other black lady, perhaps. And she's not letting Sharon in on the game plan, kind of like it is with organized crime and SVU. They don't like to talk.
Yeah.
They don't always, put together. It's kind of that thing because her and Sharon always butt heads.
Right.
They have a different way
Always
to
about the
operate
money.
stuff. Always about the money. So she'd want to make sure that this Vascom stuff isn't hurting. So she sent Dr. Cooper in to get to the company. Sharon and kept Sharon out of the loop. Sharon's thinking the doctor must be bad, and she's having Will to get him to get that going, and that's what we're going to come up to, because I think they're putting too much emphasis on us for it to be one that we already know he's not a bad guy. That can't
Right.
be. And he can't just be a typical good guy because that would be boring and anticlimactic. It's got to be, oh no, I was in on this other game plan. Something from left field that we don't see. I think that's where they're going with this.
It could be.
Yeah, because that would be more fun to figure out something. Or his daughter was on it and died, and now he's like a one-man taken kind of thing. He has special skills, and he's trying to figure out, what it is about it. Like, is it the company knows it's a bad product, or they're just they don't want to invest in checking first.
Right.
And this is his revenge. It'll be some sad story. Oh, my mom was on the Vascom, or my daughter, or my son was, and then, or his partner was. And then it changed his partner. And it gave him Alzheimer's, and they don't even remember each other anymore. And then it made him think he had an uncle in the building, and he sat on stairs and works in. Who knows what they're going to do? So we'll see. We'll see what they did. What do you think? But I think Hammer can hold her own. I think she can. But she, like you said, she has to stop projecting.
Right, and I like her. I like the additions. Her, Taylor, and Scott.
Yes.
That the perfect
combo.
Yeah, it just hits right. They're all spot on. They interact with each other just enough as they should, because they're new residents.
Right.
So if they didn't interact at all with each other, it would be weird. So I like when they actually have those quips like, "Oh no, don't worry, Vanessa, it's fine. It would have did it." Like it's just like those moments of just greatness. So like I love that. I'm super happy with that.
It seems natural.
Right. Yes, and you don't miss the other ones.
No.
Like,
but I do want them to bring people that we rarely see. That one like antisocial doctor who's really good, who's only on scene.
Oh yeah, the surgeon. Yes.
Yeah. Him, the black guy, the tall older one, whatever. All these, like, just more of that. But this is perfect. They're bringing in them. They're making them feel like now none of them seem new.
Right.
Like they're just regular. They're
just enough story, just enough boom, and like this is great.
She's got a homeless mom. We don't know anything about him except that he used to be a police officer and that his father's still in his life, but we don't know where his mom is, his sister, and all that. We only saw her in that one time when she was like, "You got to get away."
But he said she's going to be there.
Oh, really?
Oh, I tweeted. I was like, "Oh, are we going to see more of her?" And she tweeted,
"Hold on, we have an exclusive. We need a button for this. This is a TiVoMike Show TV series exclusive."
I don't know what those do.
That was good. That's good.
So,
on the edge of our seats.
Dr. Scott is played by Guy Stockard. We actually follow each other on Twitter. AGMike84 on Twitter.
8 and 4 are the numerics, not writing it out.
Yes.
EIGHT and FOUR. Not that.
That'd
be too long. I think it's beyond the
scope. You wouldn't even see my whole name.
No, it'd be like weird.
Yeah, exactly. So we that episode, I was like, oh, first I was just happy to see him and Atwater were friends because they're both from CPD. So that's dope. And then I was like, oh, he had a sister. So I had tweeted and I was like, oh, nice to meet your sister. I was like, oh, you have a sister that nice to meet her. And I couldn't find her Twitter handle because if I do that, I try to find them and incorporate the thank you. So I couldn't find it. So I was like, I couldn't find her name to know what her Twitter handle was. So I was like, you know what, whatever, I'll just do it at him. If she's on, she'll
and you
see
can
it.
Hashtag her name. That way, if someone else is searching.
No, but I don't even know her name.
No, I'm saying hashtag her character's name.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
So it's okay,
but it's good.
Wait, listen.
So I do that, and I was like, oh, are we gonna see more of her? And he wrote, yup.
Good.
And then she hearted it.
Oh, so now you have her because of that.
Yes.
See, smart, you brought her in.
So I like what they're doing with him,
folks.
Crockett. I know Crockett is in this weird limbo. I love where Crockett's at right now because. So here's what I think is going to happen, and everyone, please don't get mad. It's just
don't shoot the messenger.
It's just a premonition.
Just follow the messenger.
Right, and this is a prediction for the coming season. Sharon is going to die.
I love our. So we got it. We now have our TiVoMike Show exclusive. And what's it called? A prediction?
Prediction.
Our TV series prediction
of
the week.
Of the week, yes. So they're working a way to get Sharon's character off the show.
Yeah, because she's sick.
No, it has nothing to do with being sick.
She is sick.
But they just rebooted Law and Order, the original.
She's taking her pills.
Yes, but they just rebooted Law and Order, the original, for season 21.
Right. But remember,
so I think they're trying to work Sharon off the show
through her
to bring her back.
They brought the first two episodes,
and
the doctor came in there and said, "You're not doing things right."
You're right,
and she's stressed because she's taking this whole
and even Daniel said
super scope.
Yeah, what was your levels?
You need to calm down. They're trying to kill her because she's so stressed about the Will thing, the Dr. Cooper thing. Then that segues First of all, do not watch the rebooted Law and Order. They can't reboot things worth of crap. Now, what if it's not part of their little thing because she's black and why mention her? But we will, because we give everybody equal time, because we know that if we don't talk about your character, then people who share your skin tone think you don't exist in life, and you'll be sad. And so we don't want you to be sad. We want you to have representation in everything. So Maggie's daughter is also like Sharon, holding all these things in, trying to be a superwoman, not sleeping, trying to be the 3 hours before, figuring out people's stuff, and now she's going to be a drug addict. Didn't see that one coming. And the stress is getting to her. So I think where I was off, my Warnerism skills are not at that level yet with you, because I thought her being with Crockett, he's so free willy and stuff, and she's very by the book, that now that he's bumping up all of a sudden with all these career things, he's not high enough on this totem pole. He's not the most important doctor at the hospital.
Yeah.
He does bring them the money.
Right.
It's, let me do something in my career, education, take a class, a certification, something that I become super Crockett.
Right.
And then that'll be my battle plan this season.
Right.
She would help with that. She'd be that for him, and then he would get her to calm down. But no, they totally threw me. I was not good. I didn't see this coming.
I will
say she now was an addict, or was an addict, because she found her old pills. I mean, she's been doing this for a while. Boom shakalaka.
Well, because what they do is,
see what happens when Maggie is left alone. Now they're going after her kin.
Well, here's what happens.
We have to stop this nonsense.
It's so legit to her kin. Her kin. I was waiting for you to do the tear. You got so good. I was like, oh my God.
Leave Maggie's kin alone, too.
Here's the deal.
That's a longer hashtag, but still works.
Here's the deal. So she's not going to be an addict. What happened is her parents took advice, and she was one of those kids misdiagnosed. That's what it's going to play into the system of. So she's recovering from doing
that
it.
addictus.
Right, because those pills are a narcotic. So yes, they're supposed to be given in small doses to help focus, blah, blah, blah. But when you give it for long periods of time, the kids are now addicted to it. And that's one of the things I've noticed in the storyline we've been telling, which is really good.
That's good.
To tackle something that's nationwide.
That happens all the time.
Right. So I love what they're doing with these misdiagnosis storylines. So I think Vanessa is going to be a product of a kid who was that way.
Right.
And then it worked because it was supposed to work, but then she realized it was a problem. And she's recovering from it. So, yeah, she took one because, guys, we fall off the wagon type deal, right?
Exactly.
But it was the first time she's done it. We met her last season. She wasn't doing this. She's got in some really good episodes. And she had to tell someone they died, and she didn't resort to this drug. So it's not a drug of leisure.
Right, no. It is to keep her up, be sharp, not sleep.
So it's another type. It's still a drug nonetheless, but it's a different way of dealing with. So she has to fight that urge to go that far. She
needs to put that wagon on eBay.
Right.
Because I no longer like wagons. People are always falling out of them. You've never seen someone go, wow, he stayed on the wagon.
Right.
She stayed right in that wagon the whole time, over those bumps and rocks. Stayed right inside that. Nope. Well, we were kids. We didn't have that because that cost money. That was for rich kids. We had the shopping carts that we would take from the Safeway store. No, the real shopping carts. Yeah, we would, but we didn't call. See, we weren't. See, you were famous. You were affluent black poor because y'all changed the names of stuff. We called it get us the Shaw's supermarket cart. And we were racing by. But I, even as a kid, don't like to be out of control. So I did it one time and fell because we have a small basketball court and they try to cut the corner. And, the gravel is here.
Yep.
And then the cement is there. But there's that drop. So he hit one of the wheels, hit that, and I fell right into the gravel. And I go, okay, so this doesn't work. I just learned right away. This is not, I should be the one driving the vehicle. And then I was actually good. So everyone wanted to get into my cart.
Right.
And do that. But that's the kind of, so anyway, that's what should happen. And so people don't know what they're doing. So she's grabbing this stuff. I hope you are correct. that they're just using this as a way to advance that storytelling with her character.
That's what it is.
Instead of her going down the drain because now they can't mess with Maggie, they can mess with Maggie's kin, because that is, if you can't hurt her, who can you hurt?
But if they hurt her, then that's messing with Maggie.
Oh,
so
good point. So you really can't.
Maggie.
And Maggie loves everybody
and Maggie's getting
Chicago.
in this.
Yeah, so you can't mess with no one at Chicago Med.
Right.
Because Maggie loves everyone. She gave kidneys to people that just walked in the door.
And then we're going to go to the last topic of Scott and Charles treat patients suffering from glass child syndrome and misdiagnosed ADHD.
Look it up, people. It's a real thing.
It is, and it's so
if parents
crazy.
Weren't already scared enough.
Right.
Here, I'm going to mess up my kids. I'm not going to raise them right. They're not going to remember the 99 times I answered properly. They're going to remember the one time I said, shut up, nigger. And they're going to raise up to think they're all niggers, and they shoot other niggers. And all. I'm like, what happened? You went to school, you went to Princeton, you went to Yale, and that was just 10 days. How did you do this? Because one time, I was with my dad out in the woods. And I saw a coyote, and I wanted to just do what any little kid wants to do, just go and give it a hug, like in the cartoons. And my daddy said, you're just a stupid nigga. And I just never forgot. So all the other times when he didn't call you that and raised you and gave you a roof and loved on you and took you to all the classes and the school. And all, no, that one time, and then turns out he never said it. He watched a movie, and his dad laughed in the movie when someone else was called a dumb nigger, and he associated. It's called transference. So parents are scared.
Right.
Now you can't even trust a doctor. So if a doctor says, oh, your kid's got booga booga, you could be like, do they have booga booga? Follow the science.
Right. Because now...
Who are we supposed to follow?
Right. The science.
Bill Nye has dropped the ball. You gave him Ooga Booga disease. We gave him the Ooga Booga pills.
Right.
And now we got two kids messed up. One hits him with a shovel. And
can we just talk about... Here's the best part about that scene. First off, the actress that played the mom, I want to say she's been on like some TV show before. I've seen her.
She's been on this show, I think,
as
a character.
Yes, a couple episodes ago, right? Yeah, because I'm looking, I'm like... So,
are they just in the back waiting? Like, I'm just waiting for another one.
Right.
Like, if you already passed the COVID test.
You're just waiting the Wolf Entertainment line. But I was sitting there, and I was like, she's too good. She's a real mom, because when the little boy with the issue, with the anxiety, when he was like, it wasn't the Nerf gun. They're like, so here's what I loved about that writing. So I will tell you guys,
saying it.
Right. But I will tell you guys, Chicago writers, I thought y'all was about to give us a little child neglect case, because I thought that little boy was about to snitch on his parents. I was like, ooh, no, they did. And he's like, take him for a walk. I'm like,
now.
Yo, that's stop like that. So that's why when Dr. Charles started talking to him,
take off his leg.
I was like, oh, he's about to tell Dr. Charles his parents is be beating him.
They're going to go in the back. They're going to shoot him in the ear. But they're going to do it based on a live Zoom with all the other social media people voting. Do you want his left ear or right ear? They can put all the storylines together and just go for it. So.
I just loved how he did that, because when they did that, I'm like, no.
Because this show has us on ADHD where we're nervous. Wait, where are they going? We're looking at every clue.
Right.
When they walk in, are the parents loving to one another?
Right.
Are they patient?
Yes.
Is one on their phone? You don't know what they're going to do.
Right. So when they didn't do that, and it was just, I didn't mean for it to.
I bugged him. And he did it, and Charles already goes, hold on, you wouldn't have to bug him if he had ADHD. Therefore, put Charles everywhere.
Right.
Make him part of triage. As the people come in, he asks them a question, favorite color. They say blue. He's got ADHD. What's your favorite color? Red. You got Ooga Booga disease. He just knows this stuff.
So they were going to do that?
Yeah, it'd be perfect.
Dr. Archer's still mad that he won't use a tablet.
That's right. Comes down to the tablet.
Didn't hear anything again about the tablets.
Nothing's going. And where's Will when you need him? Remember the tablet?
Right.
Why isn't he saying that to the doc?
Because he wasn't in the room when they were talking about it.
He missed it.
He was investigating.
Wow.
I'm just
They
saying.
are brilliant.
You guys did a really big number on this whole tablet.
And because this is going to be his way of being. I think, you know what's so funny? I think they meant that for the guy who left.
Choi?
Yeah. That was one of his lines. Because he'd be real efficient and stuff.
Right.
And I think they were like, that was almost like a leftover trope meant for him. And because he's not there right now, they were like, oh, well, whoever, we'll give him this line to do. And they realized that doesn't work. That's not him.
But it
he's
would
very
be him
much
he
like,
was the one who didn't like.
You're going to get this thing even though you don't want it. That's what you're going to be.
Well, because they painted him both ways.
Yeah.
They painted him as wanting.
He's not really efficient as much as he is. You're going to get help because I know better. Talk about ego.
Right.
Now that's when Hammer should have a thing with him and Hammer and Archer should go at that.
And I think they should build it. And that's what I liked about these residents.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Don't get me wrong. I like when you bring in students and we're teaching hospital, but I love when you bring in residents that all were in the field, who all know. Like Vanessa's just enough in it to know. Hammer has been doing it for a while because she went to school when Will went to school.
Right.
Dr. Scott comes in and he's got his level. Like you.
Everybody's on their game.
Right. So it's not, because you know how they bring new people in and it's like, oh, they keep messing up because they're new.
Yeah,
like,
they're so stupid.
I was so happy we didn't do those storylines.
And that's also newest.
Right.
Let's I want a post newest world for us to live in, where oldest and newest don't have to be a thing anymore. We don't need to have archetypes of who a new person is. I think we should transcend new and old. I think those terms are hurtful, actually. I think they're triggering.
I think he's acting like a millennial.
Follow the science. Was those all the things?
Yes. But guys, Med, keep the writing going. You guys are doing phenomenal. Dr. Scott, you can't go nowhere. I know too much about you now.
Yes.
You're here.
You're here to do this.
Be here.
And take this about misdiagnosis to, again, not to be... I harp on 2 books on this show. 2 books that I haven't read, by the way. But I believe in them with all of my heart. Which is The Gift of Fear.
Right.
And You... it's called You, the Owner's Manual, but then there was a second one. Oh, You, the Patient. And you have to read that book by Dr. Oz and it was 2 doctors, Dr. Oz and someone else, called You, the Patient. And it's a yellow book. It's a really thick book, but it's about us taking control of our health when we go to PCPs, our private care physicians, and all those things, and specialists. Things to look for, tests to ask for, to push to be your advocate. Because stuff like this can happen.
Right.
And again, it happens because this show is hitting the... What's it when you're just grazing the surface?
Yeah,
it's just grazing the surface on highlighting things that do show up in the healthcare industry. We have to imagine it's all for good intent. I don't think anyone woke up to say,
and I like how they're not
I want to
painting it that way. They're not making it like a...
They're not hurting.
Yeah,
because they're not, how can we destroy a family's life?
Right.
I know. We'll say he has ADHD. Or why when I ask a question to my doctor, does he give me a quick answer and does ask for a follow-up? Because he has this tablet program where it's got to be efficient. Not because he doesn't care about me, but there's 89 more of me that need to be seen today. And if they can't be seen, what if they get hurt because they weren't seen yesterday? They could have caught this thing.
Right.
So there's reasons, but you have to be your own advocate. You have to ask for a follow-up. You wouldn't do it with any other product, and that's what I did read the intro.
Yeah.
And that's what he said. I think they likened it to buying electronics. You wouldn't get any electronic because the first person at the sales floor said, this is what you get. You don't even show up. Well, we don't even go to the store in person anymore anyway. But back when we did, you only went there after you researched. You did it ahead of time. You were online. You were which place. You read the top 5 of this mag. And not you didn't just trust one magazine's top 5. You went to CNET. Then you also went to Ooga Booga Best TVs, and then you went to TV.com, TV.net, and this TV is always on each of the lists. So now I'm zooming on that, and now it's between these 2 or 3. Okay, and this one's like 9,000 more, so that's out of the running. But this should be $800. This is $699. It's worth the extra $100. And you look at the specs, and then when you go in person, you ask for real, like, do you own one of these? Yeah, man, I have this at home, and it does that. What do you think? Like you just do that with the TV,
right?
So if you go into a doctor and they say you got Ooga Booga disease, you go, okay, well, I got Ooga Booga. Give me the prescription that I can't read that you give me, right? But we do that because we, unlike the TV, don't know anything about diagnosis.
Right.
We know about TVs.
Right.
Right? We have some
expert
expert,
right?
But here's what Dr. Oz was saying. We do know our bodies, though. And that's what we have to remember. We do know our body in a sense. We don't know the technical terms and whatever.
Right.
If we did that, there would be no fun in emojis anymore. You know? So we definitely don't know technical stuff. You can't look at an eggplant or a peach anymore without blushing. In fact, when you go to Whole Foods, it's behind a curtain now. When you want those vegetables, you can't. And the fruit, you can't. It's not a family up front. They've messed it up. We don't know technical terms. So, but you do know your body. So when the doctor says you got Ooga Booga, you say, well, what are the symptoms? Ask them, well, what are the symptoms?
Right.
Well, this, and that, and this, 3 things you said. But I also have that. But this doesn't feel weird. But it's only my left ear that hurts. You said it was both ears? Well, it's common. Sometimes it can be. And you may not know for sure, but you know whether you're not in the past from experience you're being dismissed or not.
Right.
So you don't know the stuff, but you know you're an expert in all these other things. So take that on, and they have to do the best thing they can. And 99% of the time, we diagnose correctly.
Right.
We know what it is. But just like if your kids came to you, you don't just assume you know because the first 2 words they say, right? But you do 99% of the time know by their tone. If they go, "Hey, Daddy," you kind of know. If they go, "Daddy," you know to jump up. If they say, "Dad," all the tones. But you've been wrong once, and you jumped up, and it was really the other dad. It was Daddy. Like, I want to show you this unicorn commercial,
right?
And then you get mad at them. You're like, "Well, don't you use the other tone that the last time when you were stuck under the house and being grabbed by Mike Tyson person." And you can't use that same. You're mad at them. They're like, I just called your name. You're the one who jumped to conclusion with your tablet. So follow up is what I'm saying. So I like that they're discussing that. So hopefully that's what's coming through. That people patients become their own advocates.
Right. Yes. I like it, and it works. It's working.
It's brilliant. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you thought. Where you think this show is taking this path this season. Sharon dying, being written off the show. Crockett getting a better degree.
Vanessa
being an addict and overcoming it, and then becoming the teacher of ex-addictness. Choi's coming back to say, you take the reins.
Nope.
You know?
Nope, he's coming
and
back.
Will remembering. In the words of Mrs. Doubtfire, all my love to you, puppet. You're going to be alright. Bye-bye.
The TiVoMike Show is produced by Michael Jefferson. Our soundboard operator is Mike Warner. And our theme music is by Eric Dano. Special thanks to all those who make it so we can be here and you, our great listeners. That's it for the TiVoMike Show. I'm Mike Warner. See you tomorrow when we guide the lost TV viewing saints to the married and renowned TV shows amongst the low-hanging fruit. Our next great addictive series.